Hello! I hope you had a great time this holiday season and a happy new year. So what are we seeing happening and what are we expecting to happen this year in 2023? So I'm going to begin by going over what economists are generally expecting is going to be happening this year. And then I'm going to go over what my personal experience has been so far. So we are seeing and expecting the real estate market to continue to be pretty slow. Interest rates last year, they were at 3% at the beginning of the year. This year, they're at 6%. Now they did come down some. They actually got above 7% for a little bit there, but now they're right around 6.2%, and they've generally been trending down. So that's a victory. We do expect that trend to continue, and we do expect rates to continue to go down and get better, but we don't expect them to really get below 6% for a couple months, probably. We're generally expecting that about halfway through this year that is going to get below 5.5%. We're hoping. That's kind of what it's looking like is going to happen. Now that's not guaranteed. It's just a prediction based on the data that we have. No one knows the future. You know, a lot of people have taken a really good stabs at what it looks like is going to happen over the last couple of years, and pretty much everybody's been wrong because there's been so many things that no one expected to happen that's caused substantial impacts on the economy at large, which has impacted the real estate market. It does look like inflation is going down and it's looking good, and that mortgage rates will continue their way down as well. So fingers crossed that's gonna go well. We'll see what happens. But we're expecting things to really start picking up towards the second half of this year, when we are also expecting interest rates to get below 5.5%. That said, just to share my personal experience of what has been happening so far, I've actually seen things pick up already, which is normal and to be expected. After the holiday market, things are always slow during the holiday market, and they have gotten to be quite a bit faster now. Because it's the new year, it's a seasonal cycle that the real estate market goes through every single year. It was really interesting because both I myself and talking to other agents too have already started to see some multiple offer scenarios when we normally wouldn't have expected that to happen. Now, it definitely was not the multiple offer scenario that you would have seen like the beginning of last year, where it would go $100,000 over the asking price. It wasn't like that at all, but it was able to help get some better terms and a little better pricing for the seller. That said, at the same time, I was also able to get one of my buyer's offers accepted massively under the asking price on a very reasonably priced home. So at the moment, it almost feels kind of spotty. It seems like it's picking up a little bit in some areas and maybe not as much in others. It is still a buyer's market, but it appears as though there are still occasional multiple offer scenarios. So if you're wanting to buy this year, there's different ways of looking at it. If you buy earlier on in the year, you'll have the advantage of a more intense buyer's market, but you'll have a higher interest rate. Whereas if you buy later on in the year, you'll have a lower interest rate, but it won't be as much of a buyer's market, and you won't be able to negotiate as much on terms and price. This is my thought. If you're wanting to buy sometime this year, and you have some amount of flexibility, you qualify for the level of home that you would like, but you'd appreciate if your payment was lower, I would recommend buying earlier on in this year so you can take advantage of the buyer's market. You can negotiate the terms, you can negotiate the price, you can get a good deal, and then refinance down the road when and if rates go down. And if they go up, then it's arguable that you won by purchasing a house when the rates were lower. So if they go up, you won by buying now. If they go down, then you refinance. If the house that you really want is above your budget, it might be in your best interest to wait till a little bit later when rates go down, because then you'd be able to get a higher pre-approval. The disadvantage then is you won't be able to negotiate as much on price and terms because we expect it to be not as much of a buyer's market later on this year. So it really depends on like what you're looking for and how much you are comfortable with negotiating and how much you are comfortable with just putting yourself out there. Because the negotiation process can be a little bit weary. And if you don't want to deal with that, then I would say just wait till you're farther along and the rates go down and your pre-approval is more like towards what you're wanting. If you are willing to go through the negotiation process and put up with the back and forth, then you do well to buy like earlier on in this year. If you are needing to buy and sell simultaneously, then it really doesn't affect you as much because either way you're on both ends. When you sell, you might have a buyer negotiate with you on the purchase of your home, and when you buy, you can negotiate on the purchase of that home. So it kind of balances itself out if you're buying and selling at the same time. If you are looking to buy within the next 90 days, please reach out to me and let me know, and we can start putting together a plan for you so that we can help reach your goals when you need them to happen.